Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with the Rocket Bunny Easter event, and I have just started with the first lock-in, and I'm doing something which is generally not recommended, which is to use a car that is new to the game and trying to utilize the crates in the Easter event to try to get as close to max as possible with this Kia Stinger, which is coming up as a PC car. My hope is, of course, to utilize the crates that I have available now during this event to get as far as I can, hopefully through the first lock-in, plus get the car as close to max as possible. I have about 10,000 bronze keys to burn as well, which I'm going to totally use on this car, which I actually already did use on this car. So this is about 10,000 keys in. And now I'm just going to run the event as far as I can. Then I have almost 6 days, 9 hours, it's what it's showing, to acquire as many free crates as possible, plus gain additional bronze keys to put towards this. The goal here is 1, to get through lock-in, and 2, to get the Stinger as far as possible. So hopefully I could get a better feel for it when it comes to utilizing it next season as a PC car, and also next season for supply cups. All right. Let's take a look how this car runs as it's set up now, which has pretty decent amount of upgrades. I actually have 4 stage 6s as well as almost full fusions all around. So it's in good shape, but it's missing some what I believe to be key stage 6s, because right now it's still missing stage 6s like nitrous and body, but it did manage to get all the worst ones usually, such as intake turbo and engine. All right. Let's see how well this thing goes with just these. Now, one thing I already noticed is that this is a late nitrous car. So you're going to shift and nitrous pretty late to get under the dyno, which in this case is a 9.004. And I should be able to get right near it or under it by using nitrous late. So we're about a little less than a tenth under, which bodes well ultimately for later on when you do supply cups. But there are ways to get this car into the negative 999 setup, which will allow it to ultimately run supply cups very easily. I'll eventually do a video on that. Part of the reason I'm even building this car early is in anticipation of eventually having to work on some type of video with regard to the supply cup. Now, I could either make it all the way through, or I'm going to get stuck somewhere and I'll wait a few days before I can make it through. I have cars both set up for the second event and the third event. One thing I noticed about the Easter Cup is this: the challenges are adjusted to your car, not adjusted to your car's upgrades, but to the particular car, meaning you'll get slightly easier challenges depending on what you're facing in different different lock-ins based on the car you select. For example, if you pick a fast accelerating car like the NSX, then in the next lock-in, when you get to the final race for the speed trap, it's going to be a higher speed trap. Versus if you get a car that is fully built but accelerates not so well, such as the Nissan Rocket Bunny Silvia, you will get a slower speed trap at the end. So it is adjusted to the car. But that being said, all these challenges, especially the final races, are almost guaranteed to require a few stage 6s to get through. So this is not a gimme. It's not one of those cups where you can take a new car, half built, missing fusions and stage 6s and get through. So you need to plan ahead and only lock in cars that already has, I would recommend at least 4 or 5 stage 6s, 4 if they're the strong ones, 5 if they're the weak ones, and at least 70, 80 to 90% fusions before you take on any challenge as a lock-in, because you may end up regretting it if you don't do it that way and end up stuck at some point right near the end of each lock-in. The third lock-in I've used and tested, the Rocket Bunny GTI, and it works very well, but again, that car had pretty much most, if it was missing 1 stage 6. So it was a breeze. I didn't even have to retune. But again, if you're missing more parts and more stage 6s, that could be a completely different ballgame. So keep that in mind as you select your lock-ins. I know people want to select lock-ins like I'm doing, where they're going to have a chance to max out a particular car that they have been struggling to get parts for. The risk you take there is unless you are sitting on piles of bronze keys, you could end up stuck and not being able to advance and not have your car where you want it. So that's basically a very poor position to be in the middle of this cup. And as much time as they give us, almost a week, ultimately the cup's going to end, right? So you want to at least be able to have a calculated chance of success before the time runs out. And you're going to be missing out partially, unless you're utilizing the same Rocket Bunny car for the showdown, you're going to miss out a chance to advance far in the Easter showdown as well. Obviously, the Rocket Bunny Z will be the best car for the showdown, but not, not too many people are going to have that and the keys and the resources to get that fully maxed. So it's kind of a tricky balancing act. Okay, first speed trap. Let's see how it goes with the Kia. This car does very high quarter mile top speed because, well, it accelerates pretty good. So at about 170 something, as I have it now, it's a pretty decent mile per hour. Let's see what the first challenge is. That'll give me an idea what it may end up at. Ooh, that's already pretty high. So it may end up somewhere near the high 160s to 170 for this car at the end for the third speed trap challenge. All right, so here we'll just get through this. 175. Hopefully the final challenge won't be higher than that. Probably not. But there's a tricky race on race 12 that I'm anticipating problems with. I already ran this with another account, and I can tell you each car had a different challenger. The one car I had, which was actually a Milius BMW, it gave me a challenger that ran 8.6, which is rather surprising. But then again, that was against the fully maxed LBM4, which had no problem taking that number down. And then I ran again with a Veris Civic, which isn't fully maxed, and I got an opponent that only ran 9.9. So there's hope that I won't get that crazy opponent time, or that Natural Motion already fixed it this morning, because they did fix the crates, which were disappearing after you finish the event, but now it sticks around. So it could be somebody on their end got on and fixed all these numbers that were really out of whack. All right, let's see. I'm going to do one more, then I'm going to add some gas. But so hopefully they have adjusted back the difficulty and everything is working right or as intended. This event, I would give it a difficulty rating of medium. It's not super hard. It's actually very easy for people that's been playing a long time and have some max cars to throw at it, but it is challenging for players that don't have a ton of cars and don't have them upgraded with enough stage 6s. The good news, of course, is some of the recent PC cars can be used for this event, such as the Veris Civic, such as the BMW M5 Competition and the In-Attack. But again, I had a crew member who had an In-Attack with 3 stage 6s. He happens to have the wrong 3, and it just can't hit the 214 mile per hour challenge that he's facing in race 30. So unfortunately, he's stuck waiting for another stage 6 before he can get through. So understand that none of these final challenge pieces at the end of each lock-in is super easy. That's where it gets hard. Everything else is super easy. Then you get to that challenge, and either your car's ready, or you're going to need to pull some more crates. But again, with all crates being available for bronze keys, it's just a matter of getting the resources and getting it done. I don't find that to be particularly challenging, so I think it's definitely a workable solution here as a overall method to get through, to just simply wait and pull crates. 132 mile per hour, no problem. This is going to be easy. If I can make it through this lock-in, I can go all the way through the rest of the challenges without much of a problem. What I'm going to do, though, is today I'm going to go ahead and put up the video for this lock-in, if I can complete it, and then I'm going to leave it to you guys to vote on the next lock-in, and I'll show you what cars I have available. This way we can try to do a video on a car that a lot of my viewers would be interested in. But I'm going to tell you up front, if you tell me to use that Infinity, I'm not going to do it simply because I'm out of keys and I cannot risk another car where I'm going to have to build it from the ground up. So it would be one of the other cars, whether it's the In-Attack, the M5, um, the Nissan Silvia, the Rocket Bunny, RX-7, any of those cars I can definitely use for the challenge. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Again, this car seems to like fifth gear nitrous. I haven't really played with the shift pattern too much. I'm just using standard shift pattern. It gets slightly under dyno, so that's good. But there possibly would be better shift patterns to look at down the line, especially if I have more upgrades closer to max. But right now, this seems to be working pretty good. I noticed with this update, they took away the Facebook gas. I guess not enough people were using it or something, or it was causing problems. The other thing is, of course, uh, the ads are still not working consistently. I tried to use ads to add gas today, and I had an error after about two times I was able to watch the ad. I ended up with an error and couldn't get more gas without using gold. So it's good and bad still. I mean, these updates are supposed to fix certain issues. They don't always do it. They introduced a crazy new glitch with the F1, and they didn't take away the glitch with the Tier 4 Legend car. So, they did fix the GP Mini, I guess. So that's at least one good piece of news, because I would not want to have that crazy glitched shift pattern when I'm trying to do the PC Cup. That would be very frustrating. So here, again, just kind of squeezing the car through. Not doing anything special here, just to see how far we can go. All right, so here at race 10, it's still 11-0, right? Race 11 is like a 10 something. I know that from just running it before, and I got a nice run there with 8.8. So the real question comes to race number 12. It seems if I get the Fast and Furious car, the Jetta, I end up facing a pretty tough run. But if I can get one of the other cars, for example, one of my accounts, I faced the new Aston Martin, and that one didn't run that fast. So there's hope. But we're almost there. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, so now I'm running it a little deeper in each gear. It seems to run a little slower. I'm still playing with the shift points to try to figure out what's best. I'm sure guys like Zukar will figure this out much quicker than I will. Okay, so the real question mark, race number 12, is this going to be a tough one or an easy one? Let's find out. Okay, here we go. Now, easy. That's good. Not that it showed hard even when I did it with the other car, but I think it's been fixed. Let's see what car I get as an opponent. Oh, the suspense. Now it's loading really slow, like it's trying to figure out how to screw me. Come on. All right. Ooh, Supra. Okay. T3 Supra. Let's see how this plays out. All right, I'm way ahead. So I think they fixed it. Somebody must have got on and fixed this, because I know this morning there were plenty of people complaining on Facebook about it. 10.396 is consistent to what I expect, rather than that 8.6, which is what I actually faced at least once this morning. 8.888 is a nice run. Looks like slightly earlier shifts actually helped me rather than doing a later shift. Okay, so now I know I'm going to finish this bracket because, well, I may have spoken too soon. Let's get to race 15 and find out if that speed trap is going to be a lot tougher than I think or not. But to jump from what I have now to over 175 miles per hour would just seem a little unfair. But hey, you never know. Okay, what is this one? 164. Ooh. There's a chance I'm going to be facing a 180 mile per hour speed trap at the end there. All right, 164 I know I can do. Not a problem. Let's use nitrous late and see if we can push it further out. Not really. 172. It's actually worse than if I just drove in normally and get that 175. So 164. So the question is whether that final speed trap is going to jump more than 10 miles per hour. Making me nervous here. Although I'm sure I could tweak the settings and still manage to get through. But this one, again, it's easy run. I am looking for nitrous epic, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed here. If I can get at least 1 or 2 nitrous epic, that would allow me to get pretty much close to fully maxed if I get to stage 6 as well. Okay, that's hopefully within the next week I will be able to get there. Okay, I kind of screwed up a little bit on the ship, but it didn't seem to hurt me. See what we get. Yeah, a little worse, but not bad at all. Still, so getting well under dyno is a good thing. So essentially, you don't, if you have, come on, nitrous. Oh, no, no nitrous. Okay. So if you get under dyno, even if it's by a tenth, supply cup's pretty much set. There's a way, again, to negative evo this to beat the dyno by like, a ton, but I don't think this car will be too difficult for the supply cup, given that it already beats dyno just from the ship pattern. Okay, let's see. Moment of truth. Am I going to actually finish this lock-in, or we're going to have to come back in a few days? Oh, no. No. That tells me that's bad. Okay. All right. So that means it's going to be over to 175, which I can definitely hit. Let's first take a look at what the dyno tells us we can do, because it all comes down to that, right? Dyno says, oh, 169, and I can do 175. So it could just be a matter of the dyno issue, but here I'm going to get myself a little buffer and make sure I can get over 180. Okay, just by lowering that, you can do it. Let's go back and see if it changes to orange or red. So this car apparently can get a lot more top speed relatively easily. Oh, well, it wants me to grab this. I will grab it. So speed trap's not a particularly difficult issue for it. So let's finish that race. And then, oh my God. So what is it, 190? What are you trying to get me to run here? So I'm dynoing 180 and it's telling me extreme. That means it could be asking for something like a 190, 182, 185. Let me take a look at it. That is really surprising. So again, this is a much higher trap speeds than, say, if you had to use a LBM4 or something. 184. Okay, all right. I think I can handle that. It won't be easy, but it's not crazy difficult. Come on. Yes. No, not enough. Need to give myself a little more top speed. Okay, let's go back and do that. I'm only 2 miles per hour off, so I'm not too worried about it. Definitely can get it. So I'm just going to lower the final drive a few notches and maybe have the grip go even higher, and boom, we should be there. Because right now I top out at apparently 182. This should give me 184, 187. So I just need 184, right? So 188. But I just want to make sure this is enough to get there. 188, 187, 186. Okay, so it'll top out at 186. Give ourselves this. You know what? I'm just going to give myself a little more margin to be safe. 182. Definitely can beat 2 miles per hour off of the dyno. So that should be a relatively safe starting point. Let's take a look and see if we can get this done. Okay, still extreme because my dyno does not beat the challenge, which is 184. But sometimes that doesn't matter. As long as you know you can beat that challenge, you should be fine. So again, we're going to find out. Moment of truth. Boom, 186. And that's exactly what I saw in the half mile. I know this car tops out in the quarter mile in the highest gear, and therefore, no problem to beat that. And here we finished lock-in number 1 with the Kia, utilizing 4 stage 6s. So this is not just a little bit of upgrades. This is actually quite a lot of upgrades to make it through. In my opinion, it's much easier to use a car like the LB M4, the regular M4, or something else that you can guarantee yourself the ability to get fusions and stage 6s for. I can tell you again, I beat this challenge here in lock-in 1 both with the Varus Civic partially built and also the LB M4 fully built. You can also do it with any basically T3 car that can run a decent time and a decent mile per hour. But again, you're probably going to need them with at least 4 stage 6s to be sure. Now, let's take a look at this. I'm not going to do the second lock-in at this moment. I'm actually going to wait a few days. I'm going to put this video up, as I said earlier, and you guys can take a look at what I have available and let me know what you think you may want to see as the lock-in. Maybe Donna's F50. Okay, definitely not that. Please don't ask me to put that in. I won't do it. And I won't put this car in either. It's junk. Or that. That's junk too. This one I would be willing to do because I like that car. ACS, I just hate shifting it. This car is really slow, which means struggling quite often. This one I don't mind because I can actually put this in and hopefully get some stage 6s. My Viper is actually fully maxed if I need to, so that's an option. Same thing with the Vanquish. Let me know. I mean, there are a lot of choices here. I can tell you the easy choices. This one's really easy. You're going to blow through this challenge with the LB and SX because the only real challenge in this lock-in is a final speed trap, nothing else. But because it's a speed trap and not something else, some other cars may be a little bit more difficult to use, particularly the ones that have really crappy quarter mile times, speeds, half miles, no, quarter mile, because the speed trap is quarter mile speeds. But again, the game is adjusting to the difficulty. So there's hope that one of these would work. But again, as you can see, I have a long list of possible cars here. This one has been fixed, by the way, since the update. So this is a great car again. I actually am very tempted to try to get a stage 6 to pump up this car too. But I'm pretty sure I don't know if I have it max or not. But so lots of choices. I don't like this car so far because I'm missing too many stage 6s. I can't risk it. NSX at 40, all these works. So again, I'll leave it to the viewers to kind of make a vote on what is their top choice to try to watch for on my next part of the challenge, which I'm going to do in 2 days. And then finally, I will do the third lock-in with one of the Rocket Bunnies, and I'll show you how that goes. But by that point, things actually get pretty easy. I think the first and second challenge generally is easy, but has a little hurdle at one point, which is that final speed trap. Hey, I hope this video has some information that was helpful to you, at least as far as considering going through lock-in number 1. Again, I recommend a car you can actually get fusions for and stage 6s for, not the Kia as I've done, but I have my reasons for going with the Kia. Thank you, as always, for watching my videos. Please leave comments. I'd like to see comments so I can get a feel for what my viewers like and don't like and what they would like to see more of. And if you like the video, please leave a like. If you like the channel and like to get notifications when I put up new videos, please subscribe to the channel so you can get notices. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.